What up, guys? Welcome to episode 120 of Fresh Off the Mats. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're filming this on New Year's Eve, but you're probably seeing this on Friday, which is like the second or the third.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
So
tomorrow's
the first.
So yeah, the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello. Hello.
Like that's not how you want to start that out.
Hello, everybody.
Jesus Christ. So you got the Pikachu shirt back out?
Well, we burned it on that episode that never existed. So
you need to show them now.
Yeah. Now to show them off. Oh boy.
What do you got planned for like this coming year? You got any like do you have breathe? Yeah.
Focus on my breathing more.
Yeah, good for you. That's adorable.
That's a good New Year's resolution. I don't do New Year's resolutions.
You know, well, not just. I'm not saying like as a resolution. I'm saying like what's like because I know this past year you competed quite a bit. Are you planning out your competitions right now? Or are you setting anything up?
No, because a lot of them don't release them till like 2-3 months ahead of time, anyways. So I don't know. I have a general idea that
June, don't we?
Do
I think things are released until June right now.
Oh, I mean, I just automatically know like February I'll probably do one, March I'll probably do one. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have a general, like I'm going to do one this month and this month, but nothing like solidified.
So you plan basically to try to do one every month except January and February?
Yeah.
You don't want to do the Fuji one?
When is it?
I think it's January.
No, fuck that. January, I'm just going to chill a little bit. January, I'm going to chill a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to try and get
I think we have one in February too. I go back to school, so I don't think I'll be competing much at all this year if I can. Like I'll try because obviously there are plenty of college students that go. Yeah. But I'm kind of dumb, so I need to put in a lot of fucking effort towards school because prereqs kick my ass, bro. Like I need to get into this fucking program so I can focus on exercise again.
Yeah.
Because pre-calc, chemistry, bro.
I'm so glad I never have to take a test again. Like I just,
bro, I want to pursue my doctorate.
I know.
You have to write a fucking paper, bro.
You telling me all this, I'm getting stressed out for you. Like I don't want to think about. Oh God! If someone told me I had to write another essay or a thesis,
see, that's
I would lose my shit. I'd be like, "What do you mean I got to write a thesis? I'm 33 years old."
The writing to me is fine. I can write. Like that's always been an ace in my school. Yeah. Like I don't think I've ever gotten below a B in an English class. Like, I am good at writing and reading and all that. But when it comes to math,
I love
bro,
math and science I could do all day.
So writing papers, I can't do chemistry because it's the math science. That's what I always call chemistry. It's the math science of all the sides, like biology, bro. When I set up my classes, I selected Bio 1, thinking I still had to take Bio 1. Mm-hmm. My advisor was like, "You already took that class." One, I registered for like 3 classes that I already took that I literally don't remember ever taking. Yeah. And she was like, "You got an A in it." And I was like, "Good on me." She goes, "You took the class, right?" I was like, "Paperwork says I did." Yeah. I don't cheat because I don't know anyone. So I was like, I took the class, have no recollection of taking Bio 1. So taking Bio 2 is going to be a blast because, But apparently you don't need Bio 1 to do Bio 2. Like you can take Bio 2 before taking Bio 1, which is weird to me. But outside of like A&P, you have to do A&P 1 before A&P 2. Same thing with Chem 1. You have to do that before Chem 2. Most classes, every single one of them require you to do the first one. Bio, apparently you could take Bio 2 first and then do Bio 1. Don't know why, but.
Maybe because they split bio into 2 sections.
So Mac kind of explained it. She said,
like it's not going like this. It's like this. So they just break it.
So that's kind of what she said. She was like,
side to side.
One is more internal, like you're focusing on like the cellular things and all that, like kind of coincide with A&P.
You don't need to know one to do the other.
Yeah, because then when you start learning about like the macro stuff, because she said one would be like the micro of it. Obviously, it's not microbiology, but like the micro within basic biology, and then you focus on the macro of basic biology. Yeah. And I was like, I guess. So
fuck that, dude. Oh God, man.
Yeah,
like
next
I said,
week,
you bringing it
next fucking week,
God,
bro. I start on Monday, dog.
It's stressing out. It's not even me going back to school and I'm getting stressed out. Like,
I'm gonna come in here mad as fuck. Like I got a fucking test coming up. I need to release some stress.
No, man, I'm too old. I reached the point I'm too old to do that.
You're not.
Yeah.
Max said she had a 40-year-old in her bachelor's program.
No desire.
In her bachelor, she pursued her doctorate. She became a doctor at 43 years old.
That's great. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to school ever again. I'm sorry.
As long as
I want to learn skills and stuff, but I don't want to have to go get I don't care about getting certificates. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Moving forward,
that's the only issue, because physical therapy, getting the degree is what allows me to do more stuff.
Yeah,
because she kept asking
me. You should, but I would do it for fun.
Yeah,
I would not do it to have to.
She kept asking me, she was like, "Why do you want to go back? Why do you want to go back? You're only you already do what the bachelor's requires." I was like, "Because it's the physical therapy side I care about. It sucks I have to go back for the bachelor's and have to do it. Obviously, you need to in order to get to the program, but it sucks because it's like that's the part I don't care about. Because one, these teachers, and this is my issue with school, and Matt keeps telling me not to focus on it, but my hardest part is, one, I've been in this field for 12 years. Yeah. You can't ever look at me and be like, you need pre-calc, it's good for you. Nope. Haven't touched math since I got out of high school. I'm not some 17-year-old that's fresh into college you can kind of bullshit their way through. Bro, I don't need this class. You're telling me I need it for no reason, because you're lying. I know you're lying because I'm in the field.
I need to know addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. That's pretty much
Stops there. Once you know it, you're good.
I never used the hypotenuse of a damn thing in my life.
Ever. Haven't touched geometry. I failed geometry 3 times in high school.
Not once.
Haven't touched it since high school.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the only people I know that do it is snipers. It's the only time, like, they say that all the time. Once you get in, if you go become a sniper, then you have to reuse math, and you're going to learn math and geometry and all that.
For the general population, you don't need to know.
And again, being a sniper is very specified. That's not just fucking everyone needs to know it. You're literally wasting people's time. Instead of geometry, teach finances. Swap the class, bro.
How come nobody knows how to balance their checkbook? I get that people don't use checkbook, but still, people don't know how to balance their finances.
They don't know how to budget. Yeah. Bro, you can learn how to budget instead of learning geometry. You don't need it. Now, if you're like, hey, I get it. If you ask kids freshman year, what do you want to be? Okay, cool. We're going to career choice your school this way. Sophomore year, even if it changes, career choice this way. Fucking career choice by the end of that, fucking take your classes according to whatever you think you're going to need.
This is why I kind of believe that conspiracy theory of like the education system is made to make people dumb on purpose. This is why I kind of believe it.
Because you learn shit that's just completely useless.
Because they purposely put you into a financial hole. They brainwash you to say you need this certificate to be successful for the rest of your life. They put you in a 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes 100K hole, and then they're like, climb out of it. Yeah. But they never taught you how to budget, how to finance, how to set aside assets, how to invest in investment properties to get cash flow every month. If you say the word cash flow to the majority of people, they will have no idea what you mean by that term.
Just money. Yeah. Like, oh, cool, money. Yeah, I like money flowing.
Surplus income, passive income. These are terms that like some people know, but a majority do not.
I actually hate that term, passive income. I have yet to meet someone, unless they're extremely rich and they're living off of interest gained off of their massive wealth that's already established. There's no job out there, even if like you own property, you still have to go maintain the property. You still have to make calls or emails, check in. Even if you have other people on a team doing it, there's still stuff that you do. Passive literally means you're not doing anything and it's just happening. And I'm like, there's no such thing as passive.
No, I don't think they mean it as the work effort put in that gives you the money for free. That's not like.
That's what a lot of people, how many people do you know will be like, oh, I need a side hustle. I want some passive income. What do you think they're asking? Yeah, they're asking for like that. I want the easy money just to flow into me. It's like, hey, bud, you got $1 million to go put into the bank and you can survive off of 7% interest?
Yeah, that's
like, because if you don't have that, you're not getting it. Yeah. You're still going to work. It's just you're not having to put 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours of work a week in, but you're going to make something off of maybe 5 to 10. Yeah. It's passive because it's not as much. So the term passive, it changed, kind of like anything else. Retard. Change it to an insult. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, words change over time. There's a lot of retards that don't
know what the word passive means.
Fucking retard.
Fucking
dumbass, bro. You're like, I want passive income. I'm just going to make money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, you literally got
to just sit on your couch and the money flows.
You literally have to be a millionaire. And then that million has to go sit in a bank. And you can't, and that's also.
You still got to be smart with it. You got to put it in a 5-year CD where every year you get like
high yield savings.
Yeah. You still got to do stuff with it. You can't, like, I think people think like just because you have $1 million in your bank account, in your debit card, that it's just
your fucking goal.
Yeah, it's just doing something for you.
That's what I love, like listening to these CEOs on podcasts and all that, and they all say the same thing. Every single one, even lifters, jiu-jitsu guys, everyone says the same thing, because no matter what, the time and effort you put into something is what your result will be when you maximize it. And what I mean is like these CEOs all say the same thing. They're like, the problem with the lottery winners is the second they win the lottery, they never learned the habits or the self-control or the decision making when you get that type of money. They don't know it. I know if I got it, I'm going to be calling so many people because I'll be like, hey, I haven't had fucking $20 million just sitting around. I need to know what to do on how to handle this type of funding. Yeah. But that's the problem. Some people get it. And then what do you hear? Oh, I bought the $1 million house. Oh. Bro, you didn't think about your taxes at the end of the fucking year? You got to pay taxes.
The maintenance. People, the maintenance. The maintenance is the number one thing people forget about when they buy cars or property.
Do you know? I saw, this is what made me think.
Maintenance is the number one killer of wealthy people.
I think it was Andy Frisella. He was talking about one of his supercars. It was either Ferrari or Lamborghini. Maybe it was an Audi, something like that. And he was talking about, he goes, you know how much it costs for me to replace my tires? $60,000. Oh. It's a yearly salary for someone who's that's the median average salary in America is 53. To replace his tires costs more than the median average salary in America. Bro.
No, man.
That's the type of money. But if you just win $1 million and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking millionaire. You go buy this car for 200 and you start doing that, you're fucking going to go broke in 5 years.
If I hit the lottery, you would not be able to tell by my car. It would just be a new car, but it would not be like anything extravagant. Like you would not see me roll up in a Lambo or anything that's like, oh, it's 10 grand to change the oil on this. Like you could elevate certain aspects of your life without crushing yourself in the process.
Like,
that's the thing.
Like I would get a house. I would 100% buy a house, nice home.
I would buy a normal house.
Like I would say, like especially now, $500,000 house. That's a normal house nowadays, which fucking is terrible. But buy a normal house, 3-2, maybe a 3-3 with a den. Have a good home.
People fuck up and they're like, I bought a $10 million home. Oh, how much is the maintenance on that $10 million? It's $80,000 a year.
How much? Not just maintenance.
What?
What's your electric bill?
Yeah.
Have you seen some of these
I roll that into the maintenance. Like this is what you need for the maintenance.
Have you heard of like these rappers talk about their electric bill? I heard one of them. He goes, bro, I pay $12,000 a month. And I was like, bro, $12,000 for his utilities, dog. It's like his utilities.
I think it was I believe it was Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield that the maintenance on one of their super homes was $1 million a year. Between cutting grass,
bro, that's what the thing. When you look at these people with these gigantic yards. One, that person, if they've earned their money, most likely has a business that they don't have time to just be like, let me go ride my fucking lawnmower for hours.
Honest to God, if I won the lottery and I had money, I would not buy a house.
No?
I'd still rent. I
really?
want the problem of it all. Let it be someone else's problem.
That is true.
Let it be someone else's problem. I never have to worry. I would get like either a nice condo or something that I don't have to worry about the maintenance of it all. And I would worry about the maintenance of my investment properties. I buy a 20-plex or a 40-plex. And then I just worry about the maintenance of that. Why would I want to worry about the maintenance of an investment property and my physical home? My home is just a place I go to chill.
See,
and people are going to say, but you're throwing out money every month. Yeah, but I have an investment property that's paying for this.
So I was also
that's a luxury for me. For me, a luxury for me is to not have to worry about doing everything.
Because that's what I was talking to Doug about it because we were discussing the houses. The hardest part in today's market, because like Mike chimed in as well when we were talking about interest rates, because I was like, yeah, interest rate's sitting at 7.5. It dropped to 6.5, but it's sitting around 7, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, that's a very normal interest rate. I was like, it is, Mike. I was like, you're not wrong. That's very normal. These 3%, that's not the norm. But you know what's not normal? 7% interest on a $450,000 home, that needs $50,000 to $100,000 worth of work. That's the problem in today's market, is that we're paying much higher cost and the interest rate is still high. Like the interest rate, when it dropped, it made it balance. Because I was telling Doug, I was like, here's the issue. I was like, looking into homes right now, we know that we're going to have to pay more. Back in the day, 15, 10, even 5 years ago, you bought a home, it's because it was cheaper than your fucking rent. Yeah. Now, guaranteed, I'm spending $1,000 more than what I pay for rent right now. Yeah. So guaranteed, that's not counting insurance, electric bill, water bill, lawn maintenance. If we have a pool care, that's not counting all that. Just mortgage cost is now $1,000. I
don't want to do any of those.
And that's what I tell people is like, renting now is the smarter move until the market, which sucks because you literally have to wait for an economic downfall for the market to crash. So you can be like, cool, I'm gonna get a home now. Got a home for cheap. But that's the issue.
I honestly, I don't care if I never live in a home. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like my personal home.
Yeah.
I'm okay if to my end of my days just renting and like even if it's just renting a home.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I don't want to deal with like, oh, we got to replace a $20,000 roof this year, and like, oh,
our that's every like 10 years, right? Or is it every
depends. Like if you get a metal roof lasts way longer.
Is it like 15, 20?
Something like 20. Some people have 25-year-old metal roofs.
Really?
They last a
Yeah,
long
but what's
time.
the insurance? That's what I'm saying. Like by insurance standard, like because I know insurance have standards on when you're supposed to replace the roof, because then they'll lower what your insurance cost is.
Yeah, but metal roofs last way long.
Oh, so even for them, they're looking at it at that extended time.
They're more expensive up front, but you don't have to have that cost 10 years from now.
Yeah, you're literally saving.
Yeah, you're saving. It's probably something, I don't remember. Like I said, when I worked with roofing, it was a long time ago. It's more expensive up front, but bro, you're not worrying about that shit for another 20, 25 years. You might not even be in that same home by then.
Are metal roofs good though? I guess because they still put shingles on it too and all that.
Bro, the metal roof is like this. So when the wind comes, it doesn't, obviously it has to be done properly, but the problem with shingles is they're laid like this. So you could have one shingle pop off that causes another one. Metal roof is one sheet going all the way down.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's got to really catch it at the base and stuff. But the way they do them nowadays, bro, metal.
Especially down here, like guys get really good at making sure things are.
Yeah, I would do metal
on point.
I would do metal.
So like that's what it goes back to.
Heat too.
It's definitely off of how things are now. Mac and I have been talking about like, yeah, we want to buy because the aspect of buying, especially if the market does jump up, because no matter what, the market's always going to go up when it comes to house costs. So if we buy a house now, fucking 20 years from now, the house that we buy now could be worth $1 million. You never know, right?
You can't live your life analysis paralysis of always thinking when you're going to buy the dip.
Yes.
That's the problem.
And
people do that.
That's also why we are looking. Is like we're looking now because like again, in 20 years it could be worth $1 million. In fucking 30, 40 years it could be worth even more.
But you can't have this buyer's remorse where you kick yourself next year and you go, fuck, we should have waited one more year. Because in the grand scheme of things, 10 years from now, that 1 year is not even going to matter.
That's where you have to look at it.
People get this analysis paralysis. They do it with stocks. They do it all this stuff where they're always looking to come in low all the time. But bro, if you're always going to sit on your hands and feet, oh, it was low last week, so we're going to wait. Oh no, now this is what happens.
You making $20 is better than making no dollars.
But here's the thing. People will be like, oh, right now it's at 100%. Last week, it was at 80%. So I'm not going to buy it at 100% because I'm going to wait for it to drop again. The thing is, it will jump up to 150% and then it will drop to 120. And people will be like, well, now I buy because it just dropped. No, you should have bought at 100 because now it's 20 more than what you would have bought it at.
That's like how the S&P is.
But people think they fool themselves and they're like, oh, we bought at 120. Yeah, but if you would have bought when you bought at 100, you think just because it retraced 30%, like, oh, it's a good deal. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
You're still paying 20 more.
Yeah, than what you originally saw.
Yeah.
Like that's
people trick their minds with these dips and shit. You can't live your life like that.
Which is also where we're kind of looking. That's why we're looking is in that aspect is like, all right, cool. Well, if we pay a little bit more now, we're trying to negotiate with people. We're not trying to pay out max dollar, but we also realize look at houses fucking 5 years ago. They were literally 50% less. Literally, like houses going for $450 now. We're legit $225 5 years ago.
But you can't have this mindset that like that means we should not buy now because we're hoping that it will drop back down.
Yeah, no.
Because what will happen is it will go up 30% and then drop 10%, and then you'll buy it at a higher than now, and you'll think to yourself, "Oh, we bought when it dipped." No, you didn't. You bought when it was higher.
So I know that was actually the problem.
It was a fool's dip.
So when I first got out of the Marine Corps, Mac and I were looking at houses. Yeah. She at that time was thinking houses were too expensive. She was like, "No, I think all these houses are way too much." I was like, "Babe, I'm telling you, the way with this whole COVID thing, this is going to affect us a lot more. These houses right now, yes, they're going for about 25, 30 more than what they usually should, but I think they're going to spike up." 1 year later, jumped up 100K.
Yeah.
2-3 years later, jumped up another 150, 200K. It's like,
and then you think because it went down 20K, you're like, "Oh, I got a good deal."
Yeah.
And it's like,
no, because if we bought 4 years ago, we would have been able to save $200,000. Like, there's a big difference. But again, but
you know how hard it is, even for me. This happens to me all the time. We're like, do I buy this? Do I buy this stock? Do I not buy a stock? Oh, it did this. And you get caught up in always trying to be right and stuff. And you just got to do it. You just got to fucking do it. In the long term,
you know what I think the problem is?
It's hard because the human condition will always say, "Don't do it."
So what I think the problem is with that is because people are doing it. Because the stock market, to me, it's professional gambling. That's how I view it.
Correct.
It's professional gambling. And I think the problem with it and why people get stuck is because they're gambling with money that, yes, they have it, but they're not secure in life. No. You know what I mean?
They're gambling with money that they need.
If they lose it, they're fucked.
Yeah.
If they make it big, they're happy.
You have to be willing that if tomorrow you put in 10K and it was gone, you're okay with
that. You're fine.
You can't be like, I need that 10K for today.
Yeah.
Like I need it for XYZ bills. You have to be really okay. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And that's what causes people to hopscotch in and out of stocks. They go, oh, I'm going to put $100 in it. And they check it a week later or a month later. And they're like, oh my God, it lost 10%.
They think that was a long-term investment. It's like, bro, that's not long-term.
That's not long-term. You got to leave shit in there for years. And then you're going to see down the road.
Like investing in like the S&P 500 is a safe bet because they go up on average at 7 to 10%. And like going into, what's the other? Like Vanguard, all these little ones, right?
Yeah.
They're slow burners, and people look at it because then, like S&P has a huge dip randomly come through, and people are like, "Oh my God, the world's ending!" But then go look over the 10-year span; it's literally done nothing but do this.
So they
may have big ones, but it'll go right back here.
People fixate on the black swan events too, like those events where like oh, I got in at the right time and I made millions.
Yeah.
And people fix it, and that's why they think they could put their 10K in today and tomorrow get back 20K. And it doesn't work that way in the majority. These are black swan events. These are super rare. They're hard to see coming. By the time you find out about it, they're probably already done at that point. So you cannot live your life by those events.
Into GameStop like before it blew up on Reddit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that was the thing with Dogecoin. I got in at a black swan event. I'm not smart. I'm not educated. I didn't know it was going to happen.
Put it in and hope for the best.
I got fucking lucky as fuck. But you cannot go live your life with that kind of mindset moving forward.
But here's also the thing. It goes right back to like lotto winners. These people that do that, again, it's gambling.
Yeah.
You go and made millions. You know how many people forget about capital gains tax?
Oh, yeah.
They forget completely. Bro, the government wants that shit immediately, bro.
When me and my sister sold our mom and grandma's house in New York, we had 1 year. You started running clock at that. I don't know if the laws changed now, but it was 1 year before you started getting hit with taxes. Yeah. So that's why right away I talked to my cousin. We put it into an investment property.
Because that's how you avoid it though, right?
100%.
If you buy into another property, you avoid the capital gains tax.
If you invest it with it, this is how it was back then. I don't know how it is now.
I think it still is a year. I know that.
You had 1 year from the time you let it hit your bank account. And I'm telling you, within 2 months, I was in the deal.
Yeah.
I was into the next deal because
you don't want it to wait. And then all of a sudden you're at month 11 and then the closing takes a little too long. And then boom, interest, you close on a deal now. It's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah. You do not have a lot of time with that. And people don't realize that. They think they have all the time in the world. They think they could just spend their money willy-nilly. And next thing you know, Uncle Sam says,
and that's
bend over. And
that's where, again, why geometry?
Yeah, why not teach this? This is stuff that I learned after school.
And you know how important
after I graduated, this is when I learned all this stuff.
Because one, that means less people can get scammed on businesses. These college students that everyone's like, oh, they didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know. Yeah. But why didn't they fucking know? Yeah. You should have told them.
And do you know what we talked about for the last 25 minutes? That there are fucking Instagram and YouTube influencers that would make you pay $500 to $1,000 for a fucking 25-minute seminar just to listen to the bullshit we just talked about for 20 minutes.
Buy our pamphlet. Bro, it's 9 pages.
You send me $50. That guy's Instagram page, and this conversation we're having is legitimately what he would have talked about in one of his episodes, and you would have paid $1,000 just to hear shit about capital gains tax. Don't do that. Don't fall for it. I saw so many people in the comments like, I'm signing up. I'm like, oh no, you could get this information. You just got to dig for it.
Yeah.
Don't fucking
go read.
Yeah.
Go read a fucking book, please.
But this is what they should teach in school. This is the proper things. These are real life lessons.
Again, I'm not saying like algebra or honestly, it stops at algebra. I think algebra is where it needs to get cut. Geometry is not that. Like, again, if I haven't needed to touch it in forever, since graduating high school, there has not been a time where I've drawn a triangle, had to measure that shit out. You know what I got? Construction workers. I'll hire a contractor for it. Let them, the person who wants to specialize in needing to know that information, let him know it. I don't need to know that. Don't need it. Yeah. But algebra, there are plenty of times where I've had to plug in numbers, learn how to fucking do this number to this number, figure out for X because X is like, oh, what am I expecting here? Like, algebra is easy.
You know what I think is some bullshit? You know what I think class is some bullshit? Because I think you need a part of it. I don't think you need to learn all of it. History class. I think history.
You're going to get me on that one. No, I support history a lot.
No, this is why. When has it ever been prevalent in your life to know what Aristotle thought or to know what Socrates thought at some point? I'm not saying it's not valuable information. I'm not saying you can't get good quotes from it. I'm not saying it's not good for your life. But would you much rather know things that will help you, Joseph Gaudioso, for his life right now, like stock options, like capital gains? Wouldn't you rather know that stuff in school and learn that class than to learn what some Greek guy talked about 2,000 years ago, which will not affect you in your daily, everyday? You get what I'm saying?
No,
your life progresses forward if you learn how to balance your finances, not if you learn what some guy did in a war who got killed because he defended the whole gate or some shit.
No, it does make sense.
I'm not saying not to learn about things like World War II and not to learn, but not to fixate where we go through 10 years of learning about.
So that's where I agree, because like the extended time, because I'm all about learning history. Because when you know history,
in your pastime,
you're able to avoid it.
Yes. I would, dude.
Like, because I love history, but again, like you said,
History Hyenas,
I don't need 10 years worth of history when I need to know. Bro, because I didn't understand interest rates. I didn't understand what a fixed rate is or a variable rate is. I didn't know deferred payments. I didn't know what zero loans are, like the 0%
but that
APR.
Stuff directly affects you.
And that's what I'm saying.
Life.
I had no clue any of that. It literally came down to seeing people get fucked over by it or learning from someone talking about it.
You want to know why history is not the most important? Because there are things that happen that we don't have any history of in the past. And we don't know about it. And does it affect you in your everyday? No.
See, but
I'm sure there were great men before Caesar,
but we don't know about them. My only argument on that is that why I find history so important is if you know history, if the general populace knew more history, you would know how to avoid things. So like kind of like what we're seeing happening right now. Like it could have been predicted 10 years ago and be like, hey, this is where we're going.
I'm not saying it's useless. Obviously, you need to learn history about things like Hitler to see these things coming ahead of time to not fall into these same pitfalls. I'm not saying
you said, I don't need to spend a whole year learning about Aristotle.
But trust me, I'm sure before Hitler, before Genghis Khan, there were terrible men way before that we just don't know about.
Oh, man, you learn about all the city-states in Greece.
Oh, yeah.
How much they just fought each other. You know what real quick, before we end the episode, you know what I learned about the Spartans? They weren't that great of warriors. They were.
No. But they were just one of the first ones to be talked about and documented.
And that was it. They've only won.
You think Greece didn't have warriors? You think Italy didn't have warriors before?
They're about 50-50 on their win-to-loss ratio. They weren't anything special. And honestly...
Dude, you broke a toe and you died from gangrene. You broke a toe. You broke a tooth and you got a mouth infection.
So you haven't seen Spartacus, right?
No.
So you still need to, but there's a scene in Spartacus. He gets a cut, ends up getting a fever. And to this day, it's made me love how much we've progressed in health science, because they were like, oh, if we can't get this fever down, he's going to die. And I was like, bro, a wet towel. Fuck it. Soak it up a bit, wet towel. Fuck, put that bitch on his head. Oh, they're watching this man suffer and they're giving him some moss and they're just like, fucking, you got a fever, bro. Don't know what's going to happen. Hope for the best.
History is all about trial and error.
And that's it, that's why I say like history is good to know, but there's important parts.
But
if you want to go learn Greek history, then go take a class on Greek history if you want. But we should learn general history to understand the massive things that happen in time, what the key things to learn off of it is. Then push past, go learn something else. Like, that's it.
Guys, we'll see you next week.
In the new year, baby.
We are in the new year. This is dropping on Friday.